Oh, hi. Since you clicked on this video, I suppose you would like to be a YouTuber. Guess what? So do I. However, before we dive into MrBeast's wisdom on how to YouTube, let me break it to you. Your first video will probably suck. Mine does. So did Jimmy's.
Everything from 13 and up is there, and yeah, they're fucking terrible.
And that leads us to MrBeast's 14 fundamental points on how to YouTube. I gathered them all from episode 1788 of the Joe Rogan Experience. It's a 2.5-hour interview between Joe Rogan and MrBeast. No worries, you don't have to listen to the whole thing, because I did it for you and extracted the 14 fundamental points on how to YouTube. Point number 14 is MrBeast's special tip on how to not waste your money when you start your YouTube journey. Let's begin.
Dom decodes.
Even though we already established that our first video will probably suck, we should not get bogged down by that too much. Let's just start our YouTube journey and take it one step at a time. The first step will be dipping your toe into YouTube and figuring out if you actually enjoy the process. You could, for example, start a faceless channel. That way you can familiarize yourself with the necessary editing software as well as the ins and outs of YouTube Studio. Of course, you can do that with any video you create. However, maybe you don't feel quite comfortable yet with the thought of putting your face out into the public realm. So yeah, point number 1 is try out YouTube. That leads us immediately to point number 2, which is probably one of the most important things you have to keep in mind. Produce quality content for your audience. I could leave it at that, but you see and hear all those things out there on how to beat the algorithm, how the YouTube algorithm actually works. Algorithm. Don't worry about that right now. Yes, it is important, and I will make a separate video about the YouTube algorithm. But for now, don't worry. Seriously, the most important thing is to create YouTube videos that speak to your audience. Don't produce some cookie cutter content that looks and feels like a search engine optimized product description on AliExpress. There's already enough stuff like that out there. By now, you're probably gonna ask, but hold on a second, Dom. How do I know my audience? Glad you asked, because that leads us to point number 3. You have to figure out your niche. Your niche on YouTube should be something you feel comfortable in, something you know, something you are passionate about. Whatever it is that floats your goat, that should be your niche. Don't make the mistake of chasing hot and upcoming trends. You're gonna wear yourself out by trying to pump out video after video after video. Don't try to beat a 24-hour news cycle. Choose an evergreen niche that aligns with your interests and take it from there. The niche will determine your audience. Just think about what you would like to watch because it delivers valuable information. After all, you are basically part of your potential audience. Point number 4, the old mastery takes time argument. You probably heard that it takes 10,000 hours to master something. Well, YouTube is no exception. There's not really a get-rich-quick scheme here. Be prepared to invest the time and effort it takes. You don't want to believe a noob like me? Well, just ask MrBeast.
Literally, like most people, it takes hundreds of videos before you get like 1 view.
So, there you have it. He says the same thing. It takes time. And since it takes time, let's not waste any and continue with point number 5. Remember, quality is everything. Your videos should be engaging and well produced. Create interesting content for your audience so people watch it, engage with it, and come back for more. If you do a cookie cutter approach, like I said before, that has no charm, no authenticity, no personality, it will not work and it will never lead to long-term success. Don't bore yourself to death with that kind of approach. Do your thing with your personality. Be yourself and you will find your audience. Point number 6 is a decision you should make early on. Do you want to YouTube all by yourself, or do you want to do it with a team? Well, the team could be a bunch of friends who have the same interests or people you hire. This decision will definitely shape your channel and the way it grows. Regardless of the way you go, there are 3 essential pillars you need to focus on. Number 1 is develop a business sense. Be professional and show up, because your channel is your new job. If you want to go with a team, you need to find or recruit the correct people. That's point number 2. When you get monetized and your channel grows, you should scale up efficiently. Don't make huge leaps and waste all your money. Be efficient and intelligent about how to scale your channel. That was the 3rd point. Point number 7 brings us to the financial aspect. If you get actually monetized on YouTube and you make your first money, it is very intriguing to just go out, flex your success and burn through the money in no time. That might seem like fun, but it's not advisable for a serious YouTuber who aims for long-term success. Reinvest every available penny into your channel in order to create better content, get a better setup, or crank up the skills of your team. Don't go out and buy that Lamborghini. Like I said before, have a business sense. Point number 8. Preparation is crucial. Like with a lot of tasks, the preparation takes way more time than the actual work. In the beginning of a YouTube channel, it is advisable to work on videos in advance. Build somewhat of a video library, then upload them to YouTube Studio as private content. This gives YouTube the chance to actually check for things like copyright infringements or other issues that are not compliant with their rules. Furthermore, it gives you the chance to actually schedule the public release of your videos. Otherwise, you'll be chasing your own tail. Before you get to shooting your video, you'll need to do some research. And that's point number 9. Research is essential. It is essential for the content of your video as well as the way you set up your equipment. A good source is YouTube. Watch videos as part of the audience and figure out what makes them tick, how they are structured and what makes them engaging. However, if you're spending 10 hours a day on TikTok or YouTube just doom scrolling in the name of research, stop it! Doom scrolling is a massive waste of time. Remember, be professional. Uninstall the distracting apps if necessary and get back to valuable research. Point number 10. Workflow and ecosystem. You have to figure out what works for you, what works within your budget and what works with the equipment on hand. Don't buy into someone else's ecosystem. Build your own and make it work. I will, however, show you in a later video my humble setup as a point of inspiration. So check that one out as soon as it's online. I will also show you how this final version of the video came about, so you have a side-by-side comparison with all the mistakes I made, so you can avoid them. Okay, let's jump to point number 11. You can essentially choose from 2 production formats. I call it the Ford way or the Ferrari way. Let me explain. You can mass produce thousands of mediocre videos with hundreds of viewers each, just like Ford produces their vehicles. Or you can produce high quality, bespoke content which is very engaging and stirs up the desire of millions of potential viewers, just like Ferrari creates their supercars. The financial possibilities are the same with both approaches. Let's see what MrBeast has to say about this point.
The difference between a video on YouTube, and this is where I can go infinitely in depth, the difference between a video with 1 million views or 10 million views usually isn't that like the 10 million view video, or actually a better example would be 1 million views and 30 million views. The video with 30 million views usually didn't put in 30 times the effort. Like they might have put in 2 or 3 times the effort and just had a way better idea. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And
That's right. So, we are almost at the end, getting to point number 12. When you get to the point where you have to scale your channel, there is less and less room for errors. YouTube can and will be brutal. The stakes are high and the stress will increase. Be aware of that and prepare yourself as well as possible. It could mean you need to hire outside help, even if you decided earlier to walk this road alone. Point number 13 brings us to the dark aspect of the internet and social media in particular. Well, there will be haters. Best practice, just ignore them. Reacting to haters is just another distracting waste of your time and energy. Once again, listen to MrBeast.
The point was, when you get to the position where you're at, like, you must have a lot of haters.
I don't really pay attention to it.
Good for you.
I mean,
That's a great attitude.
Yeah,
That's what I like to hear.
It's kind of a waste of time.
It's 100% a waste of time. It's so stupid, but it's so common for people to concentrate on that and make response videos.
I wouldn't be a fraction of but also we don't really, to be honest. I mean, and most people are positive about it. I mean, yeah.
We made it to point number 14, and as promised, MrBeast's advice will help you avoid wasting your money. So listen up.
I've done podcasts where I've literally laid out exactly how to go viral, every little thing I know, and they're just sitting out there. And it's funny because people will listen to them and then like just explode on YouTube and make tons of money. And it's just kind of funny because it's literally just out there. And like some people will still pay hundreds of dollars for a YouTube course or anything.
Who teaches YouTube courses?
I don't know. There's ones all over the place. I mean,
Are there really?
Yeah, millions of people are trying to be YouTubers.
So the YouTube courses, are they taught by successful YouTubers?
I mean, you just Google it and we pick them. I mean, like there are tons of YouTube gurus.
That's right. Don't waste your money on YouTube courses by so-called gurus. The information you need is already out there. Just like MrBeast said in the previous clip. There is no magic pill. If someone tries to sell you a magic course to success and lets you sell said course for a commission, that's usually called a pyramid scheme. Hate me for this comment. I don't care. It is what it is. Besides, selling a digital product is not really what people have in mind when they talk about making money on YouTube. Just like selling cocaine in the McDonald's parking lot is not really working at McDonald's. So, what do we conclude from this? Well, the information from this episode of the Joe Rogan Experience is as valid today as it was in 2022 when it aired on Spotify. And yes, your first video will probably suck. But as long as you embrace the journey and improve along the way, you'll get there. Thank you for watching and... What? Huh? Oh yeah. Like, comment and subscribe. Also, I put the link of the full episode of the Joe Rogan Experience into the description. The video was just recently released on YouTube. Thank you for watching. See you next time.